The servant's entrance, the worst seat in the house. The millionaire groom had planned every detail of his ex-wife's humiliation. "Make sure she enters through the back," he told security, holding up her photo. But when the black Bentley pulled up to the main entrance, and she stepped out in gold with 3 identical boys holding her hands, 500 wedding guests forgot how to breathe. Before we dive into the full story, let me know where you're watching from and what time it is. Now, subscribe to the channel and let's get started. "I want her to see exactly what she missed out on," Derek Mitchell said with a cruel smile as he added a name to the wedding guest list. "And I want everyone to see her realize it." Ashley Rivera looked up from her phone, her perfectly manicured fingers pausing mid-scroll. "You want to invite your ex-wife to our wedding? Is that really a good idea?" Derek leaned back in his leather chair in their Atlanta penthouse, the city skyline glittering through floor-to-ceiling windows behind him. At 35, he maintained the athletic build of his college years, his custom suit hiding the extra hours he now needed at the gym. His carefully whitened smile never reached his eyes. "Trust me, sweetheart. Monica needs to be there. It's part of closing that chapter completely." Ashley hesitated. At 28, she had built her social media empire through careful image management. With over 5 million followers watching her every move, their wedding was already positioned to be the viral event of the year. Drama wasn't part of the plan. "I don't know much about your first marriage," she said carefully. "You never really talk about it." Derek's expression hardened momentarily before he controlled it. "Not much to say. 5 years wasted with a woman who couldn't give me what I wanted." He stood and walked to the window. "She was 42 when we split. Too focused on her career, too old to have children. I wanted a family. She couldn't deliver." Ashley nodded sympathetically, unaware of the lie hanging in the air between them. She crossed the room to wrap her arms around his waist, her diamond engagement ring catching the light. "Our wedding will be perfect," she promised. $500,000 for the most incredible day at Chateau Elan. Everyone will be talking about it for years." "Exactly," Derek said, kissing the top of her head while his mind remained fixed on Monica. "That's exactly what I want." The next morning, Derek sat in his downtown office overlooking Peachtree Street. Glass and chrome surrounded him, the carefully curated space projecting success and power to every client who entered. On his desk sat an ivory envelope, Monica's invitation. "Mr. Mitchell?" His assistant Sandra knocked lightly. "The wedding planner is here for your 10 o'clock. Send her in," Derek said, quickly sliding Monica's invitation into his desk drawer. Vanessa Morgan entered, carrying a leather portfolio and tablet. "Good morning. We have some exciting updates on the Chateau Elan arrangements." For the next hour, Derek approved extravagant details for his wedding. Ice sculptures, rare flowers flown in from South America, custom lighting designed to make every social media post look flawless. Nothing was too expensive if it created the perfect image. "The ceremony space in the garden will accommodate 300 guests exactly," Vanessa explained. "We've positioned the seating to ensure the best backdrop of the vineyard for photos." "Perfect," Derek nodded. "And the media coverage?" "We've confirmed 6 major lifestyle publications and arranged prime positioning for influencers with the largest followings," Vanessa said. "With Ashley's followers in these publications, you're looking at potential exposure to over 20 million people." Derek smiled. 20 million people would see his triumph. 20 million people would witness Monica's humiliation. After Vanessa left, Derek removed Monica's invitation from his drawer. Taking an expensive fountain pen, he wrote a personal note on the RSVP card. "Last seat, last row, where you belong." That evening, Jason Cooper arrived at Derek's office with 2 glasses and a bottle of 18-year-old scotch. As Derek's best man and oldest friend, Jason was the only person who truly knew the history between Derek and Monica. "To your wedding," Jason said, raising his glass half-heartedly. Derek noticed his friend's lack of enthusiasm. "What's wrong?" "You should be excited for me." Jason placed his glass down carefully. I saw Monica's invitation on your assistant's desk. Tell me you're not really inviting her. Of course I am, Derek replied, his tone suddenly cold. She needs to see what she gave up. Derek, it's been 3 years. You've got Ashley now. Why can't you just move forward? Derek's face hardened. Move forward? After what she did to me? Do you know what it's like having people whisper behind your back, thinking you left your wife because she was too old to have children? Jason sighed. But that's the story you created, Derek. You're the one who spread those rumors after the divorce. Derek turned away, unwilling to face the truth. 3 years ago, sitting in a fertility specialist's office, he had received the devastating news. Not Monica, him. Derek Mitchell, star athlete turned successful businessman, was the one who couldn't have children. His sperm count was too low, his motility poor. The doctor had suggested options: donor sperm, adoption. But Derek couldn't accept it. When Monica had gently tried to discuss alternatives, his ego couldn't bear it. He'd started sleeping around, pushing her away, until she finally asked for a divorce. Afterward, he had constructed an elaborate lie, telling everyone that Monica's age was the problem. He needed to protect his image at all costs. She humiliated me by asking for that divorce, Derek said, his voice tight. Now, it's my turn. What exactly are you planning? Jason asked warily. Derek's smile didn't reach his eyes. I've arranged for security to make her enter through the service entrance. She'll be seated in a wobbly chair in the very last row. I've positioned cameras to capture every moment of her embarrassment. By the time she leaves, everyone will see her for who she really is, a bitter, aging woman who couldn't keep her husband. Jason shook his head. This is insane. You're about to marry Ashley. Focus on your future, not your past. My future includes watching Monica finally get what she deserves, Derek snapped. Are you with me or not? Jason downed his scotch. As your friend, I'm telling you this is a mistake, but I'll be standing next to you on your wedding day, even if I think you're making a terrible choice. After Jason left, Derek called the head of security at Chateau Elan. I'm sending over a photo of Monica Harrison. When she arrives, make sure she's directed to the service entrance. I want it to look like a mistake, but I want it done. Yes, sir. We'll handle it discreetly, the security chief promised. Derek ended the call and leaned back in his chair, imagining Monica's face when she realized what was happening. He pulled up his social media account, where his most recent post with Ashley had garnered thousands of likes. Their relationship might have been a whirlwind 8-month romance, but online it looked like the perfect love story. Image was everything to Derek Mitchell, and soon everyone would see Monica's humiliation while witnessing his triumph. He sealed Monica's invitation, satisfaction flowing through him as he pictured her opening it in Boston, seeing his handwritten note. The perfect revenge was just weeks away. What Derek couldn't know was that across the country, Monica Harrison's life had taken a turn he never could have imagined, one that would transform his carefully planned revenge into his own very public undoing. The white envelope with the Atlanta return address stood out among the stack of medical journals and bills in Monica Harrison's mailbox. She collected her mail after a long day of treating young patients at Boston Children's Hospital. The early spring evening brought a gentle breeze as she walked up the path to her 2-story brick home in the quiet suburban neighborhood. "Mrs. Patel, I'm home!" Monica called as she entered the warm house filled with the smell of cooking spices. The sound of small feet thundered down the hallway as 3 identical 5-year-old boys with curly black hair raced toward her. "Mommy!" they shouted in unison, nearly knocking her over with their enthusiastic hugs. "Elijah, Ethan, Evan," Monica laughed, kneeling down to embrace her triplets. "Were you good for Mrs. Patel today?" "They were angels," Mrs. Patel said, appearing from the kitchen with a wooden spoon in hand. The older Indian woman had been the boys' nanny since they were born. Evan finished his alphabet practice, Elijah built a tower taller than himself, and Ethan drew a picture of all of us. Monica smiled, placing her medical bag and the mail on the side table. That sounds wonderful. Thank you for watching them. Dinner will be ready in 20 minutes, Mrs. Patel said. Chicken and vegetables tonight. Perfect, Monica replied. Boys, go wash your hands while I change my clothes. As the boys raced upstairs, Monica picked up the mail and flipped through it. She paused when she saw the fancy cream-colored envelope with embossed lettering. Her stomach tightened when she recognized the handwriting on the address label. In her bedroom, Monica changed from her doctor's clothes into comfortable pants and a sweater. She sat on the edge of her bed and opened the envelope, pulling out the elaborate wedding invitation. She read the details about Derek Mitchell and Ashley Rivera's upcoming wedding at Chateau Elan Winery and Resort. Her hand trembled slightly when she turned over the RSVP card and saw the handwritten note, "Last seat, last row, where you belong." The doorbell rang, pulling Monica from her thoughts. She tucked the invitation into her drawer and went downstairs to find her office manager and close friend Tanya Williams at the door. "Ready for our Thursday dinner?" Tanya asked, holding up a bottle of wine. Their weekly dinner was a tradition that had helped Monica through many difficult times. "Always," Monica said, forcing a smile. After dinner, with the boys playing in the living room and Mrs. Patel cleaning up, Monica showed Tanya the invitation. "That absolute jerk!" Tanya exclaimed, her face flushing with anger as she read Derek's note. "After everything he did to you, the lies he spread, and now he has the nerve to invite you just to humiliate you?" Monica took the invitation back, her face calm despite the painful memories it stirred. Some wounds never heal, especially ones to the ego. "You're not actually considering going, are you?" Tanya asked in disbelief. Monica looked toward the living room where her boys were building with blocks. "I've spent 3 years rebuilding my life here in Boston, away from his lies. He told everyone in Atlanta I was too old to have children, that it was my fault we couldn't start a family. While hiding the fact that he was the one with fertility issues," Tanya finished. "And now you have 3 beautiful boys who prove he was wrong all along." "I moved across the country to escape his rumors," Monica said quietly. "I built a new life. I became a mother on my own terms. Maybe it's time to close that chapter completely. By going to his wedding? Monica, he's clearly planning something cruel. Exactly. He expects me to either not show up or to arrive alone and embarrassed," Monica said. "He doesn't know about the boys. He has no idea what my life is like now." Later that night, after tucking her sons into bed with goodnight kisses and stories, Monica sat in her home office looking at the invitation again. She picked up her phone and dialed a familiar number. "Dr. Jordan speaking," answered the male voice. "Sam, it's Monica Harrison." "Monica, how are the boys doing? Ready for kindergarten in the fall?" Monica smiled. Dr. Samuel Jordan had been more than just her fertility specialist. He had become a friend during her journey to motherhood after her divorce. "They're amazing thanks to you," she said. "I'm calling because I received an invitation today. Derek is getting married again." There was a pause on the line. "And how do you feel about that?" "The invitation came with a nasty note. He wants me there to humiliate me," Monica explained. "He still doesn't know about the boys. I never told him I used a donor and had children." "You had every right to privacy after the way he treated you," Dr. Jordan said. "What are you thinking of doing?" Monica took a deep breath. "I think I need to go. Not for revenge, but for closure. For 3 years I've let him control the narrative about our marriage in Atlanta. Maybe it's time people knew the truth. That's a big step. Are you sure you're ready for that?" "I think I am," Monica said, looking at the framed photo of her sons on her desk. "The boys are old enough to travel now. I have my parents in Philadelphia who could meet us there for support." "Whatever you decide, Monica, do it for yourself, not because of Derek," Dr. Jordan advised. After ending the call, Monica opened her laptop and searched for flights to Atlanta. She then dialed another number. "Chateau Elan, how may I help you?" A male voice answered. "Robert? Robert Davis?" Monica asked. "Yes, this is Robert. Who's calling?" It's Monica Harrison. We went to high school together in Philadelphia. I heard you're a manager there now. Monica, yes, I've been here for 2 years now. How are you? I'm well, Robert. Listen, I need a favor. Derek Mitchell is having his wedding there in 3 weeks. Robert's voice dropped. I know. I saw your name on the guest list and was surprised considering he spread lies about me all over Atlanta? Monica finished. Yes, well, he sent me an invitation with a nasty note. I believe he's planning some kind of public humiliation. That sounds like Derek, Robert said with disapproval. What can I do to help? I'm going to attend, but not the way he expects, Monica explained. I have 5-year-old triplet boys now, Robert. Sons Derek knows nothing about. Triplets? Monica, that's wonderful. Robert paused. Wait, are they? I used a donor after the divorce, Monica clarified. Derek was the one with fertility issues, not me. That was just another one of his lies. I always suspected as much, Robert said. What do you need from me? I need to avoid whatever trap Derek has set, Monica said. Can you help me arrive on my own terms? Consider it done, Robert promised. I'll personally make sure you and your boys are treated with respect. After finishing the call, Monica walked to her closet and pulled out a garment bag. Inside was a stunning golden kente cloth dress she had purchased years ago but never worn. Her mother had encouraged her to buy it to connect with their Jamaican heritage. Monica held it up, picturing herself wearing it to Derek's wedding with her 3 boys in matching outfits. She wasn't going for revenge. She was going to reclaim her truth with dignity. She looked at the invitation one more time before placing it on her desk. Tomorrow she would book the flights and call her parents. It was time to show Derek Mitchell that his lies hadn't destroyed her. They had set her free. Monica slipped the golden dress back into the garment bag. Tomorrow she would call her tailor in Boston to order matching outfits for the boys. She needed everything to be perfect when they arrived in Atlanta. 3 weeks before the wedding, Derek Mitchell paced across the marble floor of his Atlanta penthouse. The floor-to-ceiling windows displayed the city skyline as he scrolled through the wedding RSVP list on his tablet for the 5th time that morning. She still hasn't responded, he muttered, frowning at Monica's name on the list. In the living room, Ashley was filming a video for her social media followers. She sat surrounded by elegantly wrapped gift boxes, her blonde hair perfectly styled, makeup flawless despite the early hour. Good morning to my 5 million besties, she said brightly to the camera. Today I'm unboxing some amazing wedding gifts from our registry. Remember to swipe up for the link if you haven't checked it out yet. Derek watched her from the doorway, momentarily distracted from his obsession with Monica's lack of response. Ashley was the perfect trophy, young, beautiful, famous, and completely unaware of his true motivations. How's the video going, sweetheart? He asked when she finished recording. Great! This set of crystal champagne flutes from Tiffany got 10,000 likes in just 5 minutes, Ashley replied, showing him her phone screen. We should head to Chateau Elan soon. Vanessa wants to finalize the seating chart today. Perfect, Derek said, his mind already returning to his plans for Monica. The Chateau Elan. The wedding planner, Vanessa, met them in the grand ballroom where round tables were being arranged for the reception. The winery and resort spread out across the rolling Georgia countryside, vineyards visible through large windows. We've confirmed 298 guests so far, Vanessa said, consulting her clipboard. Just waiting on 2 more responses. Including Monica Harrison, Derek said immediately. Ashley glanced at him, noticing his intense focus whenever his ex-wife was mentioned. Yes, Dr. Harrison hasn't responded yet, Vanessa confirmed. I can follow up with a courtesy call if you'd like. No, Derek said quickly. She'll respond. Just make sure her seating assignment remains as I requested. Vanessa nodded. Last row as specified. Now, shall we review the menu selections? While Ashley discussed dinner options with Vanessa, Derek pulled aside Tom, the event manager. I need to speak with you privately about a specific guest, Derek said in a low voice. They moved to a quiet corner of the room. My ex-wife will be attending. I want to make sure her experience is memorable, Derek said. Sir? Tom looked confused. The chair at her assigned table. I want one leg slightly shorter than the others. Nothing obvious, just enough to make her uncomfortable all night, Derek instructed. And for her meal, make sure it's served last. Perhaps the kitchen could find a portion that's not quite as fresh as the others. Tom shifted uncomfortably. Mr. Mitchell, I'm not sure we can... I'm spending $500,000 on this event, Derek interrupted sharply. This is a personal matter. I'm simply asking for your discretion. Unbeknownst to Derek, Ashley had finished her conversation with Vanessa and had wandered within earshot. She caught the end of his instructions. Derek? She called, approaching the men. What are you talking about? Whose meal shouldn't be fresh? Tom excused himself quickly as Derek turned to Ashley with a practiced smile. Nothing important, sweetheart. Just dealing with a business rival who responded. Don't worry about it. Ashley frowned slightly. It sounded like you were asking them to serve bad food. You misheard, Derek said, taking her hand. Come on, let's check out the ceremony space again. The flowers arrived for the trial arrangement. Ashley allowed herself to be led away, but the strange conversation lingered in her mind. That evening, they waited at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport for Ashley's father to arrive from Miami. James Rivera emerged from the gate, a tall man with salt and pepper hair and a serious expression that softened when he saw his daughter. There's my girl, he said, embracing Ashley tightly. Dad! I'm so glad you came early to help with the final preparations, Ashley said. James shook Derek's hand with a firm grip that lasted a second too long. Derek, good to see you again. Welcome to Atlanta, James. We have reservations at Atlas for dinner, Derek said, maintaining his charming facade. At the restaurant, one of Atlanta's most exclusive dining establishments, James observed Derek carefully over his glass of bourbon. So, Derek, Ashley tells me you spared no expense for this wedding. $500,000 is quite a statement. Derek smiled. Only the best for Ashley. We want this to be the social event of the season. And your first wedding? Was it also such a production? James asked directly. Derek's smile faltered momentarily. No, much smaller affair, different circumstances. Dad, Ashley interjected, please don't interrogate Derek about his past marriage. James held up his hands in surrender but continued to watch Derek with calculating eyes. Later, while Derek was taking a business call outside the restaurant, James leaned across the table toward his daughter. Ashley, what do you really know about Derek's first marriage? Why did it end? Ashley sighed. Dad, I told you. His wife was older and couldn't have children. It was a mutual decision to divorce. And you believe that's the whole story? Why wouldn't I? Derek's been nothing but wonderful to me. James reached for his daughter's hand. I just want to make sure you're marrying the man, not the image. Something feels off. Dad, stop. You're being overprotective as usual, Ashley said, pulling her hand away as Derek returned to the table. In Boston, Monica sat in her attorney's office with a folder of documents spread between them. I don't plan to make any public accusations, Monica explained to her lawyer, Sarah Bennett, but I need to make sure all the documentation is in order just in case. Sarah nodded, reviewing the fertility test results from 3 years ago that clearly showed Derek was the one with reproductive issues. These medical records, along with the documented evidence of his false statements about you, would be very compelling if you ever decided to pursue a defamation case, Sarah said. That's not my goal, Monica replied. I just want protection if he tries to publicly humiliate me at the wedding. Later that day, Monica spoke with a tailor who specialized in traditional African clothing. I need 3 matching outfits for my sons, in the same golden kente cloth as my dress, Monica explained, showing photos of the boys. They need to be ready in 2 weeks. They're beautiful children, the tailor commented. They'll look wonderful in kente. Thank you, Monica said with a smile. They're excited about their first trip to Atlanta. That evening, Monica practiced with her sons about what to say if people asked questions at the wedding. If someone asks about your daddy, what do you say? Monica asked gently. Elijah, the most outspoken of the three, answered, We have a special family. Just Mommy and us and Grandma and Grandpa. That's right, Monica said, hugging them. And if anyone says mean things about Mommy, we don't listen to mean people, Ethan said firmly. Perfect, Monica smiled, fighting back tears at their innocent wisdom. Back in Atlanta, Derek received an unexpected call from Vanessa, the wedding planner. Mr. Mitchell, I wanted to inform you about the staff assignments for your wedding day, she began. Robert Davis will be the manager on duty. Robert Davis? Derek repeated, the name immediately setting off alarm bells. Why him specifically? He's our senior event manager now, Vanessa explained. He specifically requested to oversee your wedding when he saw the names. Derek's grip tightened on his phone. Robert Davis from Philadelphia? Monica's friend from high school? I believe so, yes. Is there a problem? I want him reassigned, Derek demanded. Get someone else to manage my wedding. I'm sorry, Mr. Mitchell, but that's not possible at this point. Mr. Davis is our most experienced manager, and all other staff are already assigned to other events that day. After hanging up, Derek paced his office, anger building. Robert and Monica had been close friends years ago. This couldn't be a coincidence. He picked up his phone again and dialed the security company handling the wedding. I need extra measures for a specific guest, he said. Monica Harrison. I want her monitored from the moment she arrives until she leaves. If she tries to cause any disruption, remove her immediately. As he ended the call, his computer chimed with a new email notification. The wedding RSVP system had updated. Derek clicked on the notification, his heart racing as he saw Monica Harrison had finally responded. His eyes widened as he read her response. Yes, attending with +3 guests. Derek stared at his computer screen, his face pale. +3 guests? He muttered, clicking the mouse repeatedly as if the information might change. Who the hell is she bringing? He grabbed his phone and called the wedding planner immediately. Vanessa, Monica Harrison just RSVP'd with 3 guests. The invitation was only for her. Fix this. I'm sorry, Mr. Mitchell, Vanessa replied calmly, but all guests are allowed a +1 and your ex-wife's invitation didn't specify otherwise. +1, not +3, Derek snapped. The system allows it unless we set limitations. I can call her if you'd like to. No, Derek interrupted. Don't contact her. Just make space at the back table. He ended the call and immediately dialed the security company. This is Derek Mitchell. I need to update the security plan for my wedding. His voice was tight with controlled anger. Monica Harrison is now bringing 3 unknown guests. I want them all photographed upon arrival. Monitor them constantly. If they cause any disruption, remove them immediately. The following morning, Derek met with the head of security at Chateau Elan, a former police officer named Bill Jenkins. We've added 2 more men to the team, Bill explained, showing Derek the security plan on a tablet. They'll be positioned here and here, he pointed to the entrance and near Monica's assigned table. Good. And the photographer? He'll be disguised as part of the catering staff. We have a small camera hidden in the flower arrangement near their table. Derek nodded, satisfaction momentarily replacing his anxiety. Perfect. Make sure the service entrance plan is still in place. I want her and whoever she's bringing to enter through the kitchen area. Yes, sir. We've informed the door staff to direct them that way. As Bill left, Jason arrived at Derek's office, finding his friend staring intensely at his computer screen. Checking the wedding details again? Jason asked. Derek looked up. Monica RSVP'd. She's bringing 3 people with her. Jason sat down heavily. Derek, this is getting out of hand. Who cares if she brings guests? Why are you so obsessed with her? I'm not obsessed, Derek snapped. I'm protecting my wedding from whatever she's planning. Your wedding or your ego? Jason leaned forward. It's been 3 years. You have Ashley now, a new life. Let it go. Derek's face hardened. You don't understand what she did to me. What she did? Jason's voice rose. She asked for a divorce after you cheated on her multiple times, after you lied about why you couldn't have children. Keep your voice down, Derek hissed, glancing toward the door. I was there, remember? Jason continued more quietly. I was at that doctor's appointment with you when you found out about your fertility issues. I watched you lie to Monica, to everyone, blaming her age instead of accepting the truth. Derek stood up, fists clenched. I'm warning you, Jason. Or what? You'll find a new best man, go ahead. Jason stood too. But someone needs to tell you the truth before you ruin your life again. This revenge fantasy is pathetic. If Ashley knew what you were really doing, she doesn't need to know. Derek cut him off. And if you were really my friend, you'd support me instead of judging me. Real friends tell the truth even when it hurts, Jason said, walking toward the door. I'll still stand with you at the wedding, but I'm not participating in whatever cruel plan you have for Monica. That evening at their penthouse, Ashley was reviewing her social media posts when she overheard Derek on the phone in his office. The door was slightly ajar, and his raised voice carried down the hallway. Listen, Mark, the investors don't need to see those particular numbers, Derek was saying tensely. Just show them the projected returns we discussed. The West Side project will recover once we secure the additional funding. Ashley moved closer to the door, her curiosity piqued. No, absolutely not, Derek continued. Those funds were temporarily reallocated. It's a common practice. Yes, I understand the legal implications, but no one will find out if you just follow the plan. Ashley accidentally bumped the door, causing it to creak. Derek immediately ended his call. Ashley? How long have you been standing there? He asked, his face composed but eyes wary. Just got here, she lied. What was that about? You sounded upset. Derek smiled smoothly. Just business stress. My partner is being overly cautious about our latest development project. It sounded like something about misrepresented funds, Ashley said carefully. Derek's expression hardened for a split second before his charming mask returned. You misheard. Mark is concerned about construction cost overruns, that's all. Nothing for you to worry about. He stood and wrapped his arms around her. Let's talk about something more important. Your father mentioned taking us to dinner tomorrow night at that new place in Buckhead. Ashley allowed the subject change but filed away what she'd heard. It was the second time this week she'd caught Derek in what felt like a lie. In Boston, Monica sat on the floor of her living room helping her sons pack their small suitcases for the trip to Atlanta. We're going on an airplane? Ethan asked excitedly. Yes, sweetheart. First to see Grandma and Grandpa in Philadelphia, then all together to Atlanta, Monica explained. Will there be other kids at the party? Evan asked, carefully placing his favorite stuffed bear in his suitcase. Maybe a few, Monica said. Remember what we practiced? If grown-ups ask questions that make you uncomfortable, you can always come find me. And we don't talk to the man who made Mommy sad, Elijah added solemnly. Monica hugged him. That's right. This trip is important for Mommy to finish an old story, but I'll be with you the whole time. After tucking the boys into bed, Monica made a video call to her old college friend Sarah Thompson, who still lived in Atlanta. The golden outfits arrived today, Monica said, showing Sarah the beautiful kente cloth ensembles for her sons. They match my dress perfectly. You're going to make quite an entrance, Sarah said with a smile. I still can't believe you're actually doing this. Neither can I sometimes, Monica admitted, but it feels right. After 3 years of hiding from his lies, I'm finally ready to show my truth. I've booked the hotel rooms near Chateau Elan as you asked, Sarah said. Your parents will be in the connecting room next to yours and the boys." "Thank you," Monica said. "There's one more thing I need to do." After ending the call with Sarah, Monica opened her laptop and created a new email address. She carefully drafted a message, attached a photo of Derek's cruel invitation note, and sent it to 5 of Derek's business associates whose contact information she had saved from her married days. The email was simple. "Before celebrating with Derek Mitchell, you should know how he treats people. This is the note he sent with my wedding invitation." She closed her laptop, not expecting replies. The seeds of doubt had been planted, not for revenge, but for truth. 2 days later, Monica and her sons landed in Philadelphia. Her parents, George and Evelyn Harrison, waited at the airport arrivals area. Evelyn burst into tears at the sight of her grandchildren running toward her. After settling at her parents' home, Monica finally showed them Derek's invitation. "That horrible man!" George exclaimed, his face reddening with anger. "After everything he did to you, he has the nerve to invite you just to humiliate you again?" "Dad, it's okay," Monica said calmly. "This invitation is actually a gift. It's giving me the chance to finally close this chapter on my terms." Evelyn studied her daughter's face. "You're not doing this for revenge, are you?" "No, Mom. I'm doing it for peace. For 3 years, I've lived with his lies hanging over me in Atlanta. I left my practice, my friends, my life there because of his rumors. This is about reclaiming my truth." Back in Atlanta, Derek was reviewing the seating chart with Vanessa when his phone rang. It was Tom from Chateau Elan. "Mr. Mitchell, I wanted to inform you that Robert Davis has specifically requested to be the manager on duty for your wedding. He insists on personally overseeing all aspects of your event." Derek's face darkened. "Did he say why?" "He mentioned wanting to ensure that such a high-profile event receives the best possible service. But given your concerns about him knowing your ex-wife, I thought you should know." "Thank you for telling me," Derek said, his mind racing. "Keep me updated on any unusual requests or changes he makes." As he hung up, Vanessa looked at him questioningly. "Just a small issue with the venue staff," Derek said dismissively. "Nothing to worry about." But as he returned to reviewing the seating chart, his hand trembled slightly. First, Monica's mysterious +3 guests, now her old friend insisting on managing his wedding. Derek couldn't shake the feeling that his perfect plan for revenge was somehow slipping out of his control. Derek gripped his phone tighter as a sense of unease settled over him. The perfect revenge he had planned so carefully was starting to show cracks. The next evening, Chateau Elan was transformed into a fairy tale setting. White flowers and crystal decorations filled the grand ballroom. Outside, the garden ceremony space featured an elaborate floral arch where Derek and Ashley would exchange vows the following day. Staff members rushed around, making final adjustments to everything from lighting to chair placements. Derek stood in the center of it all, barely noticing the beauty surrounding him. His eyes constantly moved to the entrance, checking for any sign of Monica's arrival. "The rehearsal starts in 20 minutes, Vanessa reminded him, clipboard in hand. "The wedding party should begin gathering now." Derek nodded distractedly. "Has security reported anything about my ex-wife? Is she in Atlanta yet?" "I haven't heard anything, Mr. Mitchell," Vanessa replied. "Should I check with them?" "Yes. Tell them to alert me the moment she checks into her hotel." Ashley approached, stunning in a white cocktail dress for the rehearsal. She frowned as she overheard Derek's request. "Are you still worried about Monica?" she asked. "This seems like more than just making sure she doesn't cause trouble." Derek forced a smile. "Just being thorough, sweetheart. Everything needs to be perfect." As Vanessa walked away, Ashley spotted a folder in Derek's hand. She glimpsed what looked like a printed schedule with Monica's name highlighted. "What's that?" she asked, reaching for it. Derek pulled it away quickly. "Nothing important, just some security arrangements." "Let me see," Ashley insisted, her voice firm. Reluctantly, Derek handed her the folder. Inside was a detailed schedule titled Monica Harrison Monitoring Plan. It included arrival times, seating placement, and instructions for staff to report her movements throughout the wedding. "Derek, this is excessive," Ashley said, her eyes widening. "You have someone assigned to follow her the entire time? And what's this about cameras specifically positioned to capture her reaction during our vows?" "It's just precautionary," Derek said, taking back the folder. "You don't know what she's capable of." Before Ashley could respond, Derek's parents arrived. Harold and Patricia Mitchell were both in their 60s, dressed impeccably as they always were for public appearances. "There's our boy!" Harold boomed, clapping Derek on the shoulder. "Ready for the big day?" "Everything's under control, Dad," Derek said, grateful for the interruption. Patricia embraced Ashley. "You look beautiful, dear. Such a young, fresh bride for our Derek." Ashley smiled uncomfortably at the emphasis on young. The rehearsal proceeded smoothly, with the wedding party practicing their entrances and positions. Afterward, they moved to a private dining room at the resort's restaurant for dinner. Crystal glasses clinked as Harold stood to offer a toast. "To Derek and Ashley," he began, raising his champagne flute. "Son, after your first marriage, your mother and I worried you might never find happiness again. But you've done well for yourself. A beautiful young wife who can finally give you the family you've always wanted. To new beginnings and future grandchildren." An uncomfortable silence followed. Ashley's smile froze as she realized the implication about her youth and fertility compared to Monica. Jason, seated beside Derek, muttered under his breath, "Real classy, bringing up children considering the truth." Derek elbowed him sharply. "Shut up." During dinner, Jason excused himself to use the restroom. Ashley, noticing he'd been unusually quiet, followed him. "Jason," she called, catching him in the hallway. "Can I ask you something?" Jason stopped, looking uncomfortable. "Of course." "Derek seems obsessed with his ex-wife being here. It feels like more than just wanting to show off his new life. What really happened between them?" Jason hesitated. "Ashley, I think you should ask Derek about this." "I have. He says she couldn't have children because of her age, and that's why they divorced. But something feels off about the whole story." "It's not my place to—" Jason began. "Please," Ashley interrupted. "I'm marrying him tomorrow. I deserve to know the truth." Jason took a deep breath. "Look, the divorce wasn't about children, not really. It was about Derek's inability to accept—" "There you are." Derek's voice cut in sharply. He appeared in the hallway, eyes narrowed. "The dessert is being served. What are you two discussing so seriously?" "Nothing important," Jason said, shooting Ashley an apologetic look before walking back to the dining room. Derek took Ashley's arm, his grip a little too tight. "What did he tell you?" "Nothing," Ashley said, "but I wish someone would." Across town, Monica checked into the Hilton Hotel with her 3 sons and her parents. The boys bounced excitedly on the hotel beds while Monica arranged their clothes for the next day. "The golden outfits are hanging in the closet," Evelyn said, helping unpack. "They look absolutely beautiful, Monica." "Thank you for being here," Monica said, hugging her mother. "I couldn't do this without you and Dad." Her phone rang. It was Robert from Chateau Elan. "Monica, everything is set for tomorrow," he said. "I've arranged for a black Bentley to pick you up. The driver will bring you directly to the main entrance, bypassing the service entrance trap Derek set up." "Thank you, Robert. Has he noticed anything unusual?" "He's suspicious, but he doesn't know what's happening. He tried to have me removed from managing the wedding, but I insisted. I'll be there personally to escort you and the boys to your seats." "I appreciate this more than you know," Monica said. "After how he treated you and the lies he spread, it's the least I can do," Robert replied. "Get some rest. Tomorrow will be quite a day." After hanging up, Monica helped her sons prepare for bed. As she tucked them in, Elijah asked a question. "Mommy, will the man who made you sad be angry when he sees us?" Monica sat on the edge of the bed. He might be surprised, sweetheart. But you don't need to worry. Grandma and Grandpa will be with you the whole time. Remember what we practiced? We stay together, Evan recited. We use our inside voices, added Ethan. And we look handsome in our special clothes, Elijah finished with a smile. Monica kissed each of their foreheads. That's right. Now get some sleep, my brave boys. Back at Chateau Elan, the rehearsal dinner had ended. Ashley and Derek returned to their luxury suite in silence. The tension between them was palpable. Are you going to tell me what's really going on with Monica? Ashley finally asked as Derek loosened his tie. I've told you everything that matters, Derek replied dismissively. No, you haven't. I found the security instructions, Derek. You're planning to humiliate her at our wedding. Why would you do that? Derek turned to face her. You don't understand what she did to me. How she damaged my reputation. By divorcing you? People get divorced all the time, Ashley said, growing frustrated. It's not that simple, Derek snapped. Just trust me on this. Ashley shook her head. That's not good enough anymore. Not when our wedding is being turned into some revenge plot. She grabbed her phone and walked toward the door. Where are you going? Derek demanded. To call my dad. I need someone to talk to who will actually tell me the truth. Ashley met her father in the hotel lobby 20 minutes later. James Rivera listened carefully as his daughter explained her concerns. I've always felt there was something he wasn't telling me about his divorce, Ashley concluded. And now this obsession with Monica attending and these elaborate plans to track her every move. James took his daughter's hand. I've been worried about Derek from the beginning. Men who are obsessed with controlling their past are usually hiding something. What should I do, Dad? The wedding is tomorrow. That's your decision, honey. But remember, it's easier to cancel a wedding than it is to end a marriage. In her hotel room, after the boys and her parents were asleep, Monica stood before the mirror in her golden kente cloth dress. The rich fabric caught the light, making her appear to glow. Her mother had helped her braid her hair earlier, incorporating gold threads that matched the dress. Monica touched the fabric gently, remembering how different her life had been 3 years ago. She had left Atlanta broken by Derek's lies, her reputation in tatters. Now she was returning on her own terms, not as a victim, but as a strong, successful woman and mother. She wasn't coming for revenge. She was coming for closure, to finally free herself from the shadow of Derek's lies. As she carefully removed the dress and hung it up for tomorrow, Monica felt calm. Whatever happened at the wedding, she would face it with dignity. The truth would finally be seen, not just heard. Morning sunlight streamed through the windows of Chateau Elan as Monica put away her golden dress. In just a few hours, she would wear it to face the man who had spread lies about her for 3 years. The wedding day dawned bright and clear. By 6 o'clock in the morning, the winery estate was already busy with activity. Florists arranged the last of 20,000 white roses along the garden aisle. Caterers prepared food for 300 guests in the massive kitchen. Sound technicians tested microphones and speakers. In the bridal suite, Ashley sat in a silk robe while a makeup artist applied foundation to her face. 4 bridesmaids chatted excitedly around her, taking selfies and sipping mimosas. Despite the festive atmosphere, Ashley felt a knot in her stomach that wouldn't go away after her conversation with her father last night. "You look worried," said Tiffany, her maid of honor. "Wedding day jitters?" Before Ashley could answer, there was a knock at the door. James Rivera entered carrying a tray with coffee and pastries. "Breakfast for the bride," he announced with a smile that didn't quite reach his eyes. He set the tray down and pulled Ashley aside while the bridesmaids were distracted with the food. "Did you sleep at all?" he asked quietly. Ashley shook her head. "I kept thinking about everything. The wedding. Derek. His ex-wife. It's not too late to postpone," James said gently. "People would understand." "Postpone a $500,000 wedding the day it's happening?" Ashley whispered. The internet would explode. My followers would... She stopped herself. Is that what I'm really worried about? My social media reputation? James squeezed her hand. Only you can decide what matters most, honey. In the groom's quarters, Derek stood by the window in his undershirt and suit pants, repeatedly refreshing an app on his phone. The screen showed various security camera feeds from around the property. Any sign of her? Jason asked from the doorway, already dressed in his best man's tuxedo. Nothing yet, Derek replied without looking up. Security says she hasn't checked out of her hotel. Jason sighed heavily. Derek, it's your wedding day. Focus on Ashley, not Monica. I am focused, Derek snapped. I just need to make sure everything goes according to plan. You mean your revenge plan? Jason said. This is insane, Derek. You're about to marry a woman who loves you, and you're obsessed with humiliating your ex-wife. Derek finally looked up from his phone, his face tight with anger. You don't understand. After the divorce, do you know what it was like? People looked at me differently. They whispered that I left my wife because she was too old to have children. My reputation... A reputation you created, Jason interrupted. You're the one who spread those rumors about Monica. You're the one who couldn't accept the truth about your own fertility issues. Derek stepped forward, his voice dangerously low. I'm warning you for the last time. Drop it. Or what? I've been your friend for 15 years. I'm the only one who knows the whole truth, and that's eating you alive. Jason straightened his tie. I'll stand beside you today because I promised I would. But after this, I'm done watching you destroy yourself and hurt others. Derek's phone buzzed with a notification. His attention immediately returned to the security feed. The florists need my approval on something. We'll finish this conversation later. No, we won't, Jason said to Derek's back as he left the room. Because you never actually finish any conversation about the truth. Across town at the Hilton, Monica helped her sons dress in their matching golden outfits. The rich kente cloth shimmered as she adjusted Elijah's small bow tie. You look so handsome, she said, smiling at her 3 boys standing in a row. At 5 years old, they were identical with their curly black hair and brown eyes. Like little princes, Evelyn added, herself resplendent in a traditional Jamaican dress of deep purple. George Harrison adjusted his tie, looking distinguished in his dark suit. Are you sure about this, Monica? It's not too late to change your mind. I'm sure, Dad, Monica replied as she stepped into her golden dress. This isn't about revenge. It's about finally standing in my truth. Her phone rang. It was Robert from Chateau Elan. The Bentley will arrive at your hotel in 1 hour, he said. Derek has security watching all entrances, but they're expecting you to arrive alone through the service entrance. They have no idea about the boys. Is everything else set? Monica asked. Yes, I've arranged for you to be seated in the front row, not the back where Derek wanted you. The ceremony starts at 2 o'clock. Most guests will be seated by 1:30. Thank you, Robert. I'll never forget this. After ending the call, Monica sat down with her sons for a final review. Remember, there will be lots of people today. Some might look surprised to see us. Because we're so handsome? Evan asked innocently. Monica smiled. Yes, partly. And because they don't know about you. If anyone asks questions that make you uncomfortable, what do? Come find you or Grandma or Grandpa, the boys recited together. Perfect, Monica said, hugging them close. Back at Chateau Elan, Derek was confronted by Michael Porter, his business partner, in a quiet corner of the garden. We need to talk, Michael said, his expression serious. I've been receiving strange emails about you. Several other investors have mentioned them too. Derek frowned. What emails? Michael showed him his phone. Someone sent us copies of a nasty note you wrote on a wedding invitation to your ex-wife. Is this real, Derek? Derek's face paled as he saw his own handwriting. Last seat, last row, where you belong. "This is a private matter," Derek said, snatching the phone to look more closely at the email. "Who sent this?" "Anonymous account, but they've sent it to at least 5 major investors in our West Side project." Michael lowered his voice. "Between this and the financial discrepancies I found last week, people are asking questions about your character, Derek. This could affect our business." "The financial situation is temporary," Derek hissed. "And this," he waved the phone, "this is just personal drama. Handle the investors. Tell them whatever you need to. I'll deal with it tomorrow." "There might not be a partnership tomorrow if this gets worse," Michael warned before walking away. Derek stood frozen, his mind racing. Who could have sent those emails? Only one person had access to that invitation. "Monica," he whispered, his hands curling into fists. In the bridal suite, Ashley was nearly ready. Her gown, a custom designer creation with delicate lace and crystal beading, hung nearby as the makeup artist applied the finishing touches. "I need to use the restroom before getting into that dress," Ashley said, standing up. "Too many nerves and mimosas." On her way back from the bathroom, Ashley passed Derek's dressing room. The door was ajar, and she could see his tuxedo jacket draped over a chair. A folded paper was sticking out of the pocket. Glancing around to make sure no one was watching, Ashley quickly took the paper. It was a security memo with detailed instructions about Monica Harrison. Special handling procedures. Direct-to-service entrance. Place at wobbly table in back row. Photographer assigned to capture expressions. Security to monitor and remove if causing disturbance. Ashley's hands trembled as she read the cruel, detailed plan. This wasn't just precaution. This was calculated humiliation. And at the bottom was a handwritten note in Derek's writing. "Make sure she knows her place." "What are you doing with my jacket?" Derek's voice made Ashley jump. He stood in the doorway, his expression darkening when he saw the paper in her hands. "What is this?" Ashley asked, holding up the security memo. "Is this really how you treat people, Derek? Planning to humiliate your ex-wife at our wedding?" "You don't understand," Derek said, reaching for the paper. "Monica deserves this after what she did to me." "What exactly did she do? Because every time I ask, you give vague answers about your divorce. What are you hiding?" Derek's face hardened. "This is not the time, Ashley. We have a wedding in 2 hours. 300 guests are arriving. Your social media team is already setting up for the live updates." "I don't care!" Ashley's voice rose. "I need the truth, Derek." Right now. Before Derek could answer, his phone buzzed urgently. The head of security was calling. "Mr. Mitchell, we have a situation. There's a black Bentley approaching the main entrance. It's not on our approved vehicle list, and the driver is refusing to redirect to the service area." Derek's face drained of color. "Who's in the car?" "We can't see clearly through the tinted windows, sir, but it's not just one person." Derek looked at Ashley, then at his phone, clearly torn between handling his fiancée's questions and dealing with Monica's arrival. "Stall them," he ordered into the phone. "I'll be right there." As Derek rushed from the room, Ashley stood alone holding the security memo, her wedding dress still hanging unworn as the clock ticked closer to ceremony time. Ashley crumpled the security memo in her hand as Derek disappeared down the hallway. Outside, the guests were taking their seats in the garden ceremony space. The string quartet played soft classical music while ushers in black tuxedos guided people to their chairs. At the main entrance of Chateau Elan, a sleek black Bentley rolled to a stop. 2 security guards approached the vehicle, speaking into their radios. "The car is here," one guard reported, "waiting for Mr. Mitchell's instructions." Derek rushed out of the main building, straightening his bow tie. His face was flushed with anger and anxiety. "Sir," the guard said, "the driver insists this guest enters through the main entrance." "Who authorized this?" Derek demanded, glaring at the tinted windows of the Bentley. Robert Davis stepped forward from the entrance. "I did, Mr. Mitchell. As the manager on duty, I made executive arrangements for Dr. Harrison's arrival. "You had no right," Derek began, but stopped as the driver opened the Bentley's rear door. Monica emerged first, a vision in her golden kente cloth dress. The rich fabric caught the sunlight, and the intricate gold jewelry at her neck and wrists gleamed. Her hair was styled in an elegant updo with gold threads woven throughout. She stood tall, her expression calm and dignified. Guests who were still arriving paused to watch. Many recognized Derek's ex-wife, and whispers began immediately. Derek's shock at Monica's appearance quickly turned to horror as 3 small boys in matching golden outfits stepped out of the car behind her. The triplets stood in a row beside their mother, identical with their curly black hair and bright eyes. "That's impossible," Derek whispered, his face draining of color. Monica nodded politely to Derek but didn't speak to him. Instead, she turned to Robert. "Thank you for arranging our transportation," she said. "My pleasure, Doctor." "Harrison," Robert replied loudly enough for nearby guests to hear. "Your seats are ready in the front row, as requested." "The front row?" Derek sputtered. "No, absolutely not. You were assigned to the back." One of Monica's sons tugged at her dress. "Mommy," he asked in a clear voice that carried to the gathering crowd, "is this the man who told lies about you?" Gasps rippled through the onlookers. Phones appeared as guests began recording the unexpected confrontation. "Elijah, remember what we discussed about indoor voices," Monica said gently to her son. Then, to Derek, she simply said, "We're here as invited guests, Derek." Nothing more. Monica's parents emerged from the Bentley behind the children. George Harrison placed a protective hand on his daughter's shoulder, while Evelyn took hold of 2 of the boys' hands. Vanessa, the wedding planner, rushed over with a clipboard. "There seems to be some confusion. Dr. Harrison, your seating assignment is..." "Doctor Harrison and her family will be seated in the front row," Robert interrupted firmly, "as my personal guests." Derek grabbed Robert's arm. "You work for me today. I paid for this entire event." "I work for Chateau Elan," Robert corrected, removing Derek's hand. "And we don't discriminate against guests or force them through service entrances." More guests gathered around, watching the scene unfold. Derek's parents pushed through the crowd, his mother, Patricia's face tight with confusion. "Derek, what's happening?" Patricia asked, then froze when she saw the 3 boys. "Who are these children?" "Ask your son," Monica replied calmly. "He's known about my fertility for years." Derek stepped between Monica and his mother. "She used a donor. This is just a stunt to ruin my wedding." "Is that true?" Patricia asked Monica. "I did use a donor," Monica confirmed. "After my divorce, when I learned that despite Derek's claims, I was not the one with fertility issues." The crowd's whispers grew louder. Derek's father, Harold, stepped forward, his face red with anger. "How dare you bring this drama to my son's wedding day?" he shouted. "I was invited," Monica said, holding up the invitation she had brought with her, complete with this special note. She turned it over to display Derek's handwriting. "Last seat, last row, where you belong." More gasps and murmurs spread through the gathering. Derek lunged for the invitation, but Jason stepped between them, having come outside to investigate the commotion. "That's enough, Derek," Jason said firmly. "Stay out of this," Derek growled. "No," Jason replied. "This has gone far enough. I've watched you lie about Monica for 3 years. I was there when the doctor told you about your low sperm count. I watched you blame her age instead of accepting the truth." Complete silence fell over the crowd. Derek's mother covered her mouth in shock. "You told us she couldn't have children," Patricia whispered to Derek. "You said that's why you divorced." "He lied," Jason confirmed, "and he's been living with that lie ever since." At that moment, Ashley appeared at the entrance, still in her robe instead of her wedding dress. She had heard enough of the confrontation to understand what was happening. She walked slowly toward Monica and the boys, studying their faces. "These are your sons?" she asked quietly. Monica nodded. Yes, they're 5 years old. Ashley quickly did the math in her head. 5 years old meant they were conceived shortly after Monica's divorce from Derek, after he had supposedly left her because she couldn't have children. 5 years, Ashley repeated, turning to Derek with tears forming in her eyes. You lied about her, about everything. Derek reached for her arm. Ashley, please. Let me explain. Explain what? That you've spent our entire relationship obsessed with hurting your ex-wife? That you lied about why your marriage ended? Ashley pulled away from him. I found your security plans to humiliate her. I heard what Jason said about your fertility issues. It was never about her age, was it? You don't understand, Derek pleaded, aware that most of their wedding guests were now watching the scene, many recording with their phones. I understand perfectly, Ashley said, her voice breaking. Our entire relationship was built on lies. This wedding was just another performance for your ego. Derek's business partner, Michael, stepped forward from the crowd. Derek, my phone is blowing up with messages from investors. They're seeing this live streamed on social media. I don't care, Derek shouted, losing control. This was supposed to be my day, my perfect day to show everyone. To show everyone what? Ashley interrupted. That you could fool another woman into marrying you? That you could publicly humiliate your ex-wife to protect your fragile ego? Monica touched Ashley's arm gently. I never meant for this to happen. I came for closure, not to ruin your day. Ashley looked at Monica with surprising compassion. You didn't ruin anything. He did that all by himself. She turned to the gathered crowd. I'm sorry, everyone. There will be no wedding today. With that, Ashley pulled the diamond ring from her finger and placed it in Derek's hand. Your performance is over, Derek. Derek stood frozen as Ashley walked back toward the main building. The bridesmaids hurried after her, whispering urgently among themselves. Ashley, wait! Derek called, finally finding his voice. You can't do this! Everything is paid for! The photographers, the media coverage! Let her go, Jason said quietly. It's over. Guests began to murmur and move uncertainly. Some headed toward their cars while others lingered, not wanting to miss any more of the unfolding drama. Derek turned on Monica, his face contorted with rage. Are you happy now? You've ruined everything. No, Derek, Monica replied with dignity. I simply came with the truth. You ruined things yourself with lies. Monica took her son's hands. Come on, boys. We should go. But Mommy, Evan said innocently, you said we were going to a party. The party is canceled, sweetheart, Monica explained gently. As Monica and her family turned to leave, Derek stood alone in the center of his half-empty wedding venue. $300,000 worth of flowers surrounded him. A wedding cake worth $5,000 waited in the kitchen. Expensive champagne chilled in ice buckets that would never be opened. And all around him, his carefully constructed image crumbled as guests whispered and pointed, their phones capturing every moment of his public humiliation, exactly what he had planned for Monica. Silence fell over the garden as Monica and her family turned to leave. Derek stood frozen, surrounded by the expensive decorations of a wedding that would never happen. The white roses that had cost $20,000 were already beginning to wilt in the afternoon Georgia heat. Wait! Called a voice from the crowd. James Rivera, Ashley's father, stepped forward. Dr. Harrison, may I speak with you for a moment? Monica paused, her hand still holding her son's. Of course. James glanced at Derek with undisguised contempt before addressing Monica. I think my daughter would like to speak with you before you leave. Dad, what are you doing? Ashley called, having returned from the building now dressed in jeans and a blouse, her wedding gown abandoned. The right thing, James replied. Something that should have happened months ago. Derek finally broke from his stupor. Ashley, please. We can still fix this. The guests, the press, we can explain this as a misunderstanding. His microphone, still clipped to his lapel from the ceremony preparations, carried his words through the garden's speaker system. Guests who had been leaving turned back, drawn by the amplified drama. "A misunderstanding?" Ashley repeated, her voice catching the microphone's range as she approached. "You mean like how you misunderstood which one of you had fertility issues?" Derek grabbed for the microphone, but the damage was done. He yanked it off his lapel, but then made a terrible decision. He approached Monica directly, still holding the live microphone. "What kind of stunt is this?" he demanded, his voice booming through the speakers. "You show up with these kids just to ruin my wedding?" One of Monica's sons, Elijah, the most outspoken, looked up at Derek with innocent curiosity. "Mommy, is this the man who told lies about you?" The boy's clear voice carried through the microphone Derek still clutched. Gasps rippled through the remaining guests. Monica remained composed, her voice calm as she replied, "Derek, I came to close a chapter, not to disrupt yours. By parading around children that look exactly like triplets I supposedly couldn't give you?" Derek snapped, his voice still amplified. "You used a sperm donor because of your own fertility issues. Don't pretend otherwise." Monica's reply was measured, but clear enough for the microphone to catch. "We both know whose fertility issues ended our marriage, Derek." The crowd fell silent. Derek's mother covered her mouth in shock while his father's face turned deep red. Ashley approached Monica slowly. "Are those boys 5 years old?" she asked, doing the math in her head. When Monica nodded, Ashley turned to Derek with tears streaming down her face. "You lied about her, about everything." "Ashley, please," Derek began, but was interrupted by his business partner Michael, who was reading something on his phone with growing concern. "Derek, I'm getting texts from all our major investors," Michael said urgently. "They're withdrawing support from the West Side project. This scene is being live-streamed on social media." "I don't care about that right now," Derek shouted. "You should," Michael replied grimly, "because I'm also getting documentation about financial irregularities. Did you really think you could hide the misappropriated funds forever?" As Derek's professional life crumbled alongside his personal one, Jason stepped forward to address the stunned guests. "I've known the truth for 3 years," Jason admitted loudly. "I was with Derek at the fertility clinic when he received his diagnosis. I watched him create the lie about Monica's age being the problem. I stayed silent when he spread rumors that destroyed her reputation in Atlanta." Jason turned to Monica. "I'm sorry. I should have spoken up sooner." Ashley had heard enough. She marched up to Derek, grabbed her bridal bouquet from a nearby table, and threw it directly at his chest. "We're done," she stated firmly. "Completely done." As she walked away with her bridesmaids and father, the wedding guests began to leave in earnest, whispering and texting about what they had witnessed. Social media was already exploding with hashtags like #weddingfail and #DerekExposed. Derek stood alone, the fallen bouquet at his feet, as his parents approached. "Is it true?" his mother asked quietly. "All this time you lied about why your marriage ended?" "Not now, Mom," Derek muttered. "Yes, now," his father demanded. "Did you lie about being able to have children?" Derek couldn't meet their eyes. "You wouldn't have understood. Dad always talked about carrying on the Mitchell name. I couldn't tell you I couldn't have children. It was easier to blame her age." His parents exchanged disappointed looks before walking away without another word. Meanwhile, Monica found herself approached by Vanessa, the wedding planner. "Dr. Harrison, I believe the bride would like to speak with you," Vanessa said. "She's in the bridal suite." Monica hesitated, looking at her sons and parents. "Go," her mother encouraged. "We'll watch the boys." Monica followed Vanessa through the now empty ceremony space and into the main building. In the bridal suite, she found Ashley sitting alone, her elaborate makeup streaked by tears. "I'm so sorry," Monica began. "I never intended this outcome." Ashley looked up, surprisingly without anger. You didn't cause this. I should thank you for saving me from marrying him." "That wasn't my goal," Monica said, sitting beside Ashley. "I just needed to close that chapter of my life on my terms, not his." "How long were you married?" Ashley asked. 5 years, Monica replied. "By the end, I barely recognized myself. He has a way of making you doubt your own reality." Ashley nodded slowly. "I felt that too. Things that didn't make sense, questions he wouldn't answer clearly. I ignored so many red flags. We all do when we want to believe in someone," Monica said gently. "Your boys are beautiful," Ashley said after a moment. "You did it all on your own?" Monica smiled softly. "With help from my parents and friends. It wasn't the family I had imagined, but it's become everything I needed." "I should have asked more questions," Ashley admitted. "About his past? About you? Maybe then I wouldn't be sitting here in a cancelled wedding venue with 300 people gossiping about me online. Social media will find something new tomorrow," Monica assured her. "Trust me, I survived much worse rumors in Atlanta." Ashley's father knocked gently on the door before entering. "I've arranged for us to stay at a different hotel tonight," he told Ashley, "away from all this." "Thank you, Dad," Ashley said, standing up. She turned to Monica. "Strange as it sounds, I'm glad you came today." "So am I," Monica replied honestly. As Monica left the bridal suite, she found Robert waiting in the hallway. "I've arranged a private dining room for your family," he said, away from prying eyes. "Mr. Rivera and his daughter will join you if that's acceptable." "That's very kind, thank you," Monica said. In the small vineyard restaurant away from the main reception hall, Monica's family gathered with Ashley and her father for an unexpected meal together. The boys, oblivious to the adult drama, happily colored on children's menus while the adults talked quietly. "To new beginnings," James toasted, raising a glass of the vineyard's wine. Through the window, they could see Derek trying to enter the restaurant, only to be turned away by the staff. He walked alone to his car, photographers capturing his solitary exit as guests departed without saying goodbye. Later that evening, Ashley checked into a suite at the Ritz-Carlton in downtown Atlanta. As she sat on the bed, she took out her phone and began typing a brief statement to her millions of followers. "Today taught me that truth matters more than perfect pictures. I'm taking some time away to focus on what's real. Thank you for your understanding and support." Meanwhile, Monica returned to her hotel with her family, feeling lighter than she had in years. The weight of Derek's lies had finally been lifted. She tucked her sleepy sons into bed, kissing each one goodnight. As she prepared for bed herself, her phone screen lit up with a text message from an unknown number. Monica picked it up, surprised to see Ashley's name. "Thank you for the painful truth I needed," the message read. "Can we talk tomorrow before you leave Atlanta?" Monica stared at her phone screen, reading Ashley's message. After a moment, she typed back, "Of course. Name the time and place." The response came quickly. "Breakfast at 9 at the hotel restaurant?" "Just us." "I'll be there," Monica replied before setting her phone on the nightstand and closing her eyes. The next morning, social media platforms were flooded with videos and posts about the wedding disaster at Chateau Elan. Hashtags like #DerekExposed and #WeddingFail were trending nationwide. Clips of Derek's microphone confession about his fertility issues had been viewed millions of times overnight. In his hotel suite, Derek sat surrounded by empty minibar bottles, frantically calling his publicist. "I don't care what time it is," he shouted into the phone. "This needs to be fixed now. There must be a way to spin this." "Derek, it's gone viral," his publicist explained. "Every major news outlet has picked it up. Your ex-wife's triplets, your lies about fertility issues, your fiancée throwing her bouquet at you. It's everywhere. Then pay to have it removed. That's your job." "It doesn't work that way. Once something spreads this far..." Derek hung up and immediately called his lawyer. "Jeffrey, I need you to threaten Monica with a lawsuit, defamation, public humiliation, something." On what grounds? The lawyer asked. From what I've seen, she didn't make any false statements. In fact, you confirmed her version of events on a hot microphone. She planned this. She brought those kids just to ruin my wedding. Derek, I have to advise you that pursuing legal action would only keep this story in the news cycle longer, and discovery would require you to prove your claims, which might expose more details you don't want public. As Derek continued making desperate calls, across town Monica met Ashley for breakfast at the Ritz-Carlton restaurant. Ashley wore sunglasses despite being indoors, her eyes still puffy from crying. "Thank you for coming," Ashley said as Monica sat down. "I'm sure this isn't how you planned to spend your morning in Atlanta." "I'm glad you reached out," Monica replied. "How are you holding up?" Ashley removed her sunglasses, revealing reddened eyes. "Honestly, I'm humiliated but also relieved? Does that make sense?" "More than you know," Monica said with a gentle smile. "I felt the same way after my divorce was finalized." The waiter brought coffee, and Ashley stirred hers absently. "I keep thinking about all the warning signs I ignored. The way he'd change the subject whenever I asked about his past. How he'd make me doubt myself when things didn't add up." "That's his specialty," Monica said, "making you question your own perceptions." "Were you surprised when you found out about his fertility issues?" Ashley asked. Monica took a sip of coffee before answering. "Not entirely. We'd been trying to have children for 2 years with no success, but Derek refused to consider that he might be the one with problems. When the test results came back, he couldn't accept it. And then he created a whole false narrative about you," Ashley said, shaking her head. "I can't believe I fell for his charm so completely." "Don't blame yourself," Monica said. "Derek is very good at presenting exactly what people want to see." Ashley looked up. "How did you move forward? After everything he did to your reputation in Atlanta?" "One day at a time," Monica answered honestly. "I moved to Boston, focused on my medical practice, and eventually decided to have children on my own terms. The boys gave me purpose beyond proving Derek wrong." "They're amazing," Ashley said, "and they look so much like you." "They're my world," Monica smiled. "What about you?" "What comes next?" Ashley sighed. "I canceled the honeymoon to Bora Bora this morning. Dad thinks I should get away from social media for a while, maybe stay with my aunt in Portland. She has a small bookshop there, no internet presence at all." "That sounds peaceful," Monica said. "I posted a brief statement last night," Ashley continued. "No details, just that I'm taking time away. My followers are going crazy with speculation, but for the first time, I don't feel obligated to explain my life to them." After breakfast, Monica and Ashley walked through the hotel lobby together. "It's strange," Ashley said. 24 hours ago, we were supposed to be enemies in Derek's mind. Now I feel like you're the only person who truly understands what I'm going through." "Sometimes the most unexpected connections come from shared experiences," Monica replied, "even painful ones." They hugged goodbye, both women finding unexpected closure in their meeting. When Monica returned to her hotel, her parents were helping the boys pack their suitcases for the trip home. "How was your breakfast?" Evelyn asked. "Good," Monica said. "Ashley is going to be okay. She's stronger than she realizes." George looked up from helping Evan fold a shirt. "And what about you? Was coming back to Atlanta worth it?" Monica smiled. "Yes, I needed this closure more than I knew." Her phone buzzed with a text from Robert. "Thought you might want to see this." Attached was a link to a news article titled, "Mitchell Development Faces Investigation Following Wedding Scandal." Later that afternoon, Robert arranged a final lunch for Monica's family before their departure. As they enjoyed their meal in a private dining room at a downtown restaurant, Monica received messages from several former Atlanta friends who had witnessed the wedding disaster. "I always knew Derek's story didn't add up," wrote her old neighbor Susan. "I'm sorry I didn't stay in touch after the divorce. Those boys are beautiful, Monica, "Atlanta misses your kind heart at the Children's Hospital," texted Dr. Williams, her former colleague. Each message helped heal a small part of the pain Derek's lies had caused over the years. Across town, Derek tried to enter his office building but found his access card deactivated. His assistant met him in the lobby, looking uncomfortable. "I'm sorry, Mr. Mitchell. Michael called an emergency board meeting this morning. They voted to place you on administrative leave pending an investigation into the financial irregularities." "They can't do that, this is my company," Derek shouted. "Actually, sir, you only own 40%. The board has majority control," the assistant explained, handing him a letter. "They've also frozen the company accounts you have access to until the audit is complete." Derek stood in the lobby, letter in hand, as employees stared and whispered. His phone buzzed with a notification. Ashley had posted a new video that was quickly going viral. In it, she spoke candidly about recognizing manipulation and emotional abuse, never mentioning Derek by name but making the reference clear. By evening, Monica and her family were at the airport waiting for their flight back to Boston. The boys played happily with toys from the airport gift shop, while Monica scrolled through more supportive messages from old friends. "Ready to go home?" George asked his daughter. "Yes," Monica said with a smile. "I think I'm finally free of Atlanta's ghosts." As their flight took off, Monica looked down at the city lights below. The place that had once been filled with painful memories now represented something different. The power of truth and dignity over lies and manipulation. Meanwhile, Derek sat alone in his penthouse, surrounded by wedding gifts that would need to be returned. His phone had stopped ringing. His social media accounts were flooded with negative comments. Even his parents had left town without saying goodbye, deeply disappointed by his deception. He poured another drink and opened his laptop, wincing as he saw a new headline. "Wedding That Wasn't: How Derek Mitchell's Revenge Plot Backfired." The article featured side-by-side photos, one of Monica with her beautiful sons in their golden outfits, smiling with dignity, the other of Derek, alone and scowling as he left Chateau Elan. In a final blow, he received an email from his real estate broker. "Given recent events, the sellers of the Buckhead mansion no longer wish to accept your offer." Derek closed the laptop and stared out at the Atlanta skyline. The city that had once celebrated him as a successful businessman now buzzed with gossip about his downfall. The perfect revenge he had planned had become his own public humiliation instead. Derek stared out at the Atlanta skyline as his perfect life crumbled around him. The revenge he had so carefully planned had become his own undoing instead. 6 months later, autumn leaves covered the sidewalks of Boston as Monica Harrison hurried into the prestigious Children's Hospital where she worked. Her white coat swished as she navigated the familiar hallways, greeting nurses and fellow doctors with a warm smile. "Good morning, Dr. Harrison," called the receptionist. "The board left a message for you. They want to confirm you'll attend the announcement ceremony on Friday." Monica smiled. "Tell them I wouldn't miss it." Later that day, Monica stood proudly in the hospital's main conference room as the chief of medicine made his announcement. "It gives me great pleasure to introduce our new head of pediatrics, Dr. Monica Harrison," he said to enthusiastic applause. Her dedication to our youngest patients and her innovative treatment programs have made her the perfect choice for this position. As colleagues congratulated her, Monica's phone buzzed with a text from Mrs. Patel. "The boys are so excited about your news. We made celebration cookies." That evening, Monica returned home to find her living room decorated with handmade signs reading, "Congratulations, Mommy." Elijah, Ethan, and Evan, now in kindergarten, rushed to greet her at the door. "Did you get a bigger office?" Elijah asked, his eyes wide. "Will you still be our doctor too?" Ethan wondered. "Can we visit you at work?" Evan added. Monica laughed, hugging all three. "Yes to all your questions, and Mrs. Patel tells me we have cookies to celebrate." As the boys raced to the kitchen, Monica checked her email. Among the congratulatory messages was one from Ashley Rivera. She clicked it open. "Dear Monica, congratulations on your promotion. Sarah told me the news. I'm so happy things are going well for you. Life in New York has been good for me. The social media consulting firm I started is growing quickly. Turns out my experience has value beyond posting perfect pictures. I help companies create authentic online presences instead of fake perfection. I still think about that day sometimes. While it was painful, it was also the wake-up call I needed. Thank you again for your unintended rescue. Warmly, Ashley. Monica smiled as she typed a quick reply thanking Ashley and sharing news about her sons starting kindergarten. Their unexpected friendship had been one of the surprising outcomes of that dramatic day. Meanwhile, in Atlanta, Derek Mitchell stood in the empty living room of what had once been his luxury penthouse. A real estate agent waited by the door as Derek took one last look around. "The bank has accepted your short sale offer," the agent said. "It's not ideal, but it will stop the foreclosure proceedings." Derek nodded silently. The past 6 months had destroyed everything he'd built. The investigation into his company's finances had revealed years of misrepresentation and creative accounting. Major projects had been abandoned, investors had fled, and his business partner had testified against him to save himself from charges. "Your new apartment is ready whenever you are," the agent continued awkwardly. "It's not what you're used to, but it's in a decent neighborhood." Derek looked out the floor-to-ceiling windows one last time. "From penthouse to one bedroom in 6 months," he muttered. "All because of Monica." "Sir?" the agent asked. "Nothing," Derek replied. "Let's go." The decent neighborhood apartment was a far cry from Derek's former luxury lifestyle. A small living room with basic furniture, a kitchenette, and a bedroom barely large enough for a double bed. Derek placed his suitcase on the floor and sat heavily on the couch. His phone rarely rang these days. Former friends and business associates had disappeared. His social media accounts had been deactivated after months of public ridicule. The story of the wedding that backfired still appeared occasionally on lists of greatest social media disasters. Derek opened his laptop and checked his email, deleting another rejection letter from a potential employer. His reputation made finding work in real estate development nearly impossible in Atlanta. 2 weeks later, Monica arrived in Chicago for a medical conference. She had been invited to speak about work-life balance as a single mother in a demanding medical career. After her presentation, doctors and medical students approached with questions and compliments. As the crowd thinned, Monica noticed a familiar face waiting nearby. Jason Cooper stood at the edge of the room, his expression uncertain. "Jason," Monica said, surprised. "What are you doing here?" "I live in Chicago now," he explained. "I work for a healthcare investment firm. When I saw your name on the conference program, I thought I'd come hear you speak." There was an awkward silence before Jason continued. "You were excellent, by the way. Very inspiring." "Thank you," Monica replied. "Are you doing well?" Jason nodded. "Much better since I left Atlanta and all that drama behind. I cut ties with Derek after the wedding. It was long overdue." "Would you like to get coffee?" Monica suggested, surprising herself. "Catch up properly?" Over coffee at a nearby cafe, Jason and Monica talked about their lives since that fateful day 6 months ago. "I should have spoken up sooner," Jason admitted. "I knew the truth about Derek's fertility issues from the beginning. I watched him spread those lies about you for years." "Why didn't you?" Monica asked gently. Jason stared into his coffee cup. "Fear, I guess. Derek had been my friend since college. Our business circles overlapped, and honestly, I didn't have your courage." "It took me 3 years to find that courage," Monica reminded him. "Your boys are amazing," Jason said, looking at the photo Monica showed him on her phone. "You've built a beautiful life." "What about you?" Monica asked. "Are you happy in Chicago?" "Getting there," Jason smiled. "My job is fulfilling. I'm seeing a therapist to work through my guilt about staying silent for so long. And I'm learning to be more honest, even when it's difficult." As they prepared to leave, Jason hesitated. "Some lies seem small until they grow to consume everything. he reflected. Monica smiled. And some truths take time to find their way into the light, but they always do. They exchanged contact information, both feeling a connection that hinted at future possibilities. The following month, Monica took her sons to Philadelphia for her parents' 40th wedding anniversary celebration. The Harrison family gathered in George and Evelyn's backyard for a barbecue on a warm summer evening. Cousins played with the triplets while Monica caught up with relatives. "Those boys grow more every time I see them," her uncle remarked. "You're doing an amazing job with them, Monica." "Thank you," she said. "They make it easy to be a good mother." As Monica helped her mother serve dessert, her phone buzzed with a news alert. Ashley had sent her a link to a business news article with the message, "Thought you might want to see this." The headline read, "Mitchell Development files for bankruptcy after failed restructuring attempts." Monica opened the article and skimmed it quickly. Derek's company had collapsed completely. The once successful developer had lost everything: his business, his reputation, his wealth. "Bad news?" Evelyn asked, noticing her daughter's expression. Monica put her phone away. "No, just an update on something from the past." She smiled and looked at her sons playing happily with their cousins. "Nothing that matters anymore." "You seem at peace," Evelyn observed. "After everything that happened in Atlanta, I wasn't sure you'd ever truly move past it." "I have," Monica assured her. The best revenge wasn't exposing Derek's lies. It was building a life so full of joy and purpose that his actions became irrelevant. Evan ran up to Monica, tugging at her hand. "Mommy, come see the fort we built." "I'd love to," Monica laughed, allowing herself to be pulled toward the children's play area. As twilight fell, the family gathered for a group photo. Monica stood with her sons in front of her, her parents beside her, surrounded by aunts, uncles, and cousins. Everyone smiled as the camera flashed. This was her truth, not the lies Derek had spread, not the revenge he had planned, but the beautiful reality she had built for herself and her children. A life based on honesty, dignity, and love. Later that night, as Monica tucked her sleepy sons into bed at her parents' house, Elijah asked a question that caught her by surprise. "Mommy, are you happy even though we don't have a daddy like other kids?" Monica sat on the edge of the bed, looking at her 3 beautiful boys. "I'm happier than I ever thought possible," she said truthfully. "Our family might look different from some others, but it's perfect exactly as it is." "I think so too," Elijah said, snuggling under the covers. Monica kissed each boy goodnight and turned out the light. In the quiet darkness, she reflected on how differently her life had turned out from what she had once planned. The pain of Derek's betrayal and lies had eventually led her to greater happiness than she could have imagined. She took out her phone and looked at Jason's text message from earlier that day. "Thinking about our coffee in Chicago. Would love to catch up again next time you're here or I'm in Boston." Monica smiled as she typed her reply. "I'd like that very much." The past was finally where it belonged, behind her, and the future, with all its possibilities, stretched bright and open ahead. If you enjoyed today's video, I'm sure you'll love the next one. Don't waste time. Just click on the screen,